Hey everyone, welcome to Princess Gay. I'm your host Connie, and today we are here with episode 4 of Trese. It's been a couple weeks since we last got to this. Last episode was with the I don't remember what it was called. The basically the baby demon who just wanted to be loved and was going after the actress because she had killed her baby. Um, or rather, had her doctor abandon the baby, which is pretty much the same thing. Um, Someone actually mentioned to me, I don't remember who it was, but someone mentioned to me um, that they kind of took the meaning of the last episode to kind of maybe have a anti-abortion stance and everything, and it's like I didn't quite get that. I even tried like looking through the episode to try and think of how it could be seen that way, and it's like it just didn't click with me. It's like I don't think it was trying to make any kind of statement whatsoever on that kind of thing. I don't think that was not only just not intended, but I don't think there's really enough for that. It was just a crazy woman who was so self obsessed that she didn't want the media attention of having a baby. So she had the baby killed, and she got killed in revenge. It's nothing about being against, or it's nothing about like abortion. It's not like an allegory for that at all. It's just it's more infanticide than anything. It's I didn't see it that way. But anyway, um, anyway, so we're gonna do this episode today, and then I'll talk about this more in the afterthoughts. But we're gonna do the poll after this for the next series because we're gonna do the final two episodes together, episodes 5 and 6. So in the afterthoughts, I'll announce the poll and what it is. I'll also make a new or separate video for that, and we'll kind of just go from there. We'll see how it goes and all of that jazz. So I'm definitely interested to see what you guys think of all of that. But yeah, in the meantime, I'm just curious as to how they're going to end this with 3 more episodes. Because it feels like there's been a lot of things that have been built up. But I don't know. It just feels like 6 episodes is too short, you know? I don't know if they were like banking on needing another season, but I don't remember if I looked it up before. Like, is there another season already confirmed? And the thing is, there's not even like a single direct story. It's more like just a bunch of plot threads that are connecting. It's not even super episodic necessarily because everything connects to the same kind of stuff in the way that it's like it's all Alexandra's job, and she all of this stuff is also connecting to her father and all of that, and She's trying to keep the peace between the two sides of the world. It's like I get how it's connecting, but it's like there's like different stories each time still. It's not like a full ongoing plot narrative. So yeah. But there's only 3 episodes left. We've already done half of the season, so they've got to like wrap up things like with the flashbacks with Alexandra's father, and this has all got to tie together and wrap up with everything else. There's been a lot of threats lobbied her way from different sources. It's just like I just don't know. We'll see though. Sorry if I've seen a little out of it. I am like still a little tired. I just woke up, so that's why I'm like rubbing my eyes and everything. But I should still be good for the episode and all. It's just, yeah. Just a bit tired still. Either way, we're going to get this started. Because I don't know what else to say. So, when the screen fades to black, pause this redirect and go to the description below. Follow the link to the reaction, and after you watch it, come back here to the redirect and resume play. Because after fades to black and fades back in, everything from that point forward will be my afterthoughts and will contain spoilers to the episode. So, that being said, thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you at the reaction. And we are back, and we'll begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. That was one hell of a cliffhanger I just did not expect. Like, yeah, the entire episode had Hank going on doing his own stuff, doing his own investigation, and that had to lead somewhere. But a suicide bombing was not on my list of things I expected to happen. So, I have 2 thoughts. One, someone found out that Hank was investigating and trying to find out more and is trying to put a stop to that. Or 2, Hank is the bad guy. It mentioned, like, it even mentioned at the beginning of this episode, Alexandra was worried about how she was told that there was an enemy among her allies. What if it's Hank? What if he's trying to find out all this information going on in order to fulfill his own needs or the needs of maybe... My theory right now is this guy in the flashbacks is going to come back. What if that's going to be the big kicker here? What if Hank is serving him? It's one of the 2 options, I feel. I don't see how it could be anything else. Either just someone found out that Hank was investigating and wanted to get rid of him, or Hank is the bad guy. I don't see any other option there. But this episode focused on humanity, which is a really fun thing to add into a zombie story. And I think the best zombie stories do focus on humanity. I think that the best zombie stories are more about the humanity and the characters than about the zombies themselves. The zombies are just set dressing. They're just a plot device in order to give us that look into humanity. Basically, I would give you 2 examples here. Telltale's The Walking Dead, specifically the Telltale game, or I think it was taken over for the final season by Skybound, but still. I'm still going to just call it the Telltale game for sake of ease. Specifically the Telltale game, not the comics, not the series, the Telltale game, The Walking Dead. With Clementine, with Lee, with Kenny. That game was all about humanity and how it could be corrupted or how it could be a beacon of light in the apocalypse. And even how those lines can be blurred. How characters who can have good and bad in them can veer one way because of the influences around them. It's definitely a story on human nature and how it can be twisted and changed by the smallest things. The zombies in Telltale's The Walking Dead are not the point. They're just there because it's the zombie story. But it's not a zombie story. That's the thing. It's a human nature story. The zombies are just the catalyst for that. And the second example is The Last of Us. And specifically, I want to name the HBO series. Because this was actually a big point of contention for some fans. Some fans thought that the HBO series didn't have enough of the infected. That there wasn't enough clickers, there wasn't enough bloaters or runners or stalkers or any of the infected in the series. That it focused so little on them and missed a core part of the story. And the problem is, no, that's entirely incorrect. The infected are there in the game, mostly for the action segments. The segments that would be almost impossible to properly adapt. And keep the pacing to any sort of normal degree, you know? The pacing could not be done properly with a series if you're to have all of those action scenes adapted as they are in the game. The infected in the first place, even in the game, were always a plot device. They were never the focus. The focus on The Last of Us was always about the human element, about the themes of love and how that can be twisted to be either super positive and healthy or super unhealthy. And it's about how clinging on to the last bits of humanity and love within you can affect your thoughts, your actions, your beliefs in a world that's gone mad. You could take out the infected entirely and the story would still mostly be the same. Switch a zombie apocalypse out with a nuclear apocalypse and the story would be the same. Because it's not about the zombies. It's about the people. It's about humanity. And that's what this episode was about. The zombies were just there for the fun of having zombies there. They weren't the focus. This episode focused on two main sources of humanity. Alexandra Trese and Captain Guerrero. As we see early on, Alexandra is losing it. She's starting to get more and more stressed, and she's starting to get scared to the point where she's starting to think, I need to do anything to keep this ship from breaking down, even if I need to sacrifice my humanity to do it. And on the other hand, we have Captain Guerrero, a cop who is surrounded by the corruption of the police force, by police brutality, and cops who just don't give a shit about the people that they're victimizing in a lot of cases. And Captain Guerrero's like, no, we can't be like that. We have to be better. We have to care. Captain Guerrero is very much like Commissioner Gordon from the Batman mythos, franchise, series, whatever you want to call it. He's very much like Gordon. He's A cop who is actually trying to do the right thing, but is surrounded by those who enact police brutality, who are corrupt as hell, and stuff like that. And like Gordon, he's willing to do everything he can to make sure that that stops happening. And some people would say that someone who would remain a cop in that situation and who would still serve that kind of force is just adhering to it and not letting it be a deal breaker for them. And they would say that the idea of trying to change things from inside is just a way to get yourself corrupted as well, and isn't actually going to help anything. And to a degree, maybe that's correct. Especially in real life. To a degree, maybe that's correct. But one, you gotta remember that this is fiction. And two, both of these worlds are worlds in which some really crazy shit happens. Some, like, supernatural crazy shit happens. Like, you gotta realize, Batman is not just, like, regular, like, criminals. It's, like, there's some crazy shit in Batman. In DC in general. I mean, you have fucking new gods, like Darkseid and everything. It's like, yeah, not exactly normal. But even with the typical Batman's rogues gallery, you still have, like, Killer Croc and Mr. Freeze and Bane, and it's like, they're not just normal people. Well, Mr. Freeze mostly is, but his technology is so insane, you know. You get the idea. Okay, Poison Ivy, put her in that place instead. Give some cred to the female villains too, you know? But you get the idea. You get the idea. It's not normal shit. They have to deal with a lot of supernatural shit. And because of that, the way the police are run is going to be very different in general. Gordon, and I believe Captain Guerrero as well, can't just quit because they see how corrupt the force is. They have to stay on to try and change it to protect people because things are fucked up. They have to do their best to protect people. And Captain Guerrero especially is working directly with Alexandra Trese. And because of that, like, they need to utilize each other's resources in order to help, you know, take care of things. Same way that Gordon and Batman do. It's like, this is... It's kind of necessary. And Gordon would be the first to admit that the GCPD are fucked up. Gordon would be the first to admit that. He knows Harvey Bullock. He knows they're fucked up. He knows the corruption. He understands. But he's doing everything in his power to change that with help from Batman and other sources. He works outside the law sometimes to change that. Because, and I almost hate using a quote from the Harley Quinn series because of how they portray Gordon in that series. But in terms of, like, most other content, Gordon is a damn good cop. He is what a cop should be. And I think the same is what can be said about Captain Guerrero. He is what a cop should be. He cares. He's trying to actually help. He's against police brutality. He's against needless violence. He's against shoot first, ask questions later. He's against that stuff. He believes that they need to actually help people. All people. Even the people who seem like just criminals. they're still in need of help. And so Captain Guerrero gets a lot of respect from me. And this episode, like even before this, like I had no real issue with him. But this episode really, really hit the nail on the head for me for his character. Like he again, it's just the comparisons to Jim Gordon are very much there and very much appreciated because I like Jim Gordon. I genuinely like him as a character because he's very much against and trying to actively stop the corruption. So I like Captain Guerrero for the same reasons. And we see in this that he's speaking out against his officers enacting these inhumane actions, such as beating up this guy they bring in, this drunk that they bring in, just because he's a drunk. It's police brutality, and there's no reason for it, and he speaks out against it. And he tells Raul in the end, it's like, I may not know your name right now, well, please tell me, because I remember the names of all these people I have failed. All these people I wish I could have helped. I will never forget them. That's on me. And he shows his humanity. And he shows it to Alexandra as well. When she's ready to kill Raul to get that stone and everything, to stop all this, he's like, no, we can't do that. We need to give him a chance. And he talks to Raul. He connects with him. Instead of choosing to be violent, he chooses peace and diplomacy. And it works. And it won't always work in reality. It won't. But you need to try. You need to try. And he teaches Alexandra a very valuable lesson, I feel. That everybody is worth it. And that your humanity should never be sacrificed. I really like this episode. Like, I really like this episode. I've been really enjoying the shit out of this series in general, but this episode that's definitely my kind of lesson. Like never sacrificing humanity and everything is definitely my kind of thing that I love to see in all of these kinds of shows. It's just it was definitely already going to appeal to me, but I just, again, like the way it was done and how we see a Jim Gordon-like character delivering that message. So now the question kind of comes into what is going to happen with Hank. Is he dead, or was he behind it? Was it a setup? It's hard to say. It's hard to say. But we have another question to address now, because we have only one more video left of Trese. We will be finishing it with the final 2 episodes, and that means we need another poll show for the time being. And so I've kind of had to think about what to place on the list exactly. Because, like, last time we had, like, only 2 on the poll. And this time we needed to bring it back up to 3. And we only did 2 last time because of the entire situation with trying to get one of the ones that have been on there for too long off the poll. So I've brought it back up to 3. We have 3 choices again. And we're going to kind of have to see just what ends up being chosen. So, yeah, it's going to be up to you guys. The poll will be in the community tab of the channel. like right away once this is uploaded and everything. And again, I'm going to be making another video on it as well anyway. Just for everyone who doesn't watch this series. But let's go over our 3 options. So, first, I'm going to put them out of the order I guess they're in the poll in. Or maybe not. Maybe I'll put them in this order in the poll. But let's start with the one that remains on the list from before, Hellbound. Hellbound is a live-action series, once again. It is Korean, I believe, and it is on Netflix. It involves demons to some degree, I believe, but that's about all I think I know about it. I heard about it like once or twice, and it's like, yeah, looks interesting. I might check it out. The second option on our poll is Vox Machina. This is an animated series that is based off of and taken from a campaign that was done by Critical Role. And the people from Critical Role, who are all voice actors, reprise their roles in the series. The likes of Matt Mercer, Travis Willingham, Laura Bailey. It's gotten a lot of acclaim. I think there's 2 seasons currently out. And it's basically, it's D&D. It's a D&D campaign, so it's high fantasy. And it sounds pretty interesting, and I want to kind of see what the hype is about. But our third option on the list is something that I don't know if anyone was expecting I would even want to react to this in the first place. The third option is the Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared series. This is a series that was based off of a set of videos from a few years back. It's basically puppets, and it's done in a way to where it's kind of satirizing a lot of different things, but especially like children's programming. It's a very, very intelligent series, and I don't say that in a pretentious way, but it actually is, because it with the way it satirizes things. It's various topics of each video that they did before and everything. The overall satirization of children's programming and television and everything. It's actually really surprisingly smart. And it masks all of that with creepy shit. Like, it's really creepy and fucked up and just insane. But all of that is just a mask for the messages and themes it's trying to get across, which is actually pretty fucking cool. So, I've seen all of the original classic videos, but I have not seen the series yet, so yeah. So those are your 3 options. Once again, we have Hellbound, Vox Machina, and Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared, the series. So yeah. I'm definitely excited to share this poll with you. It will be in the community tab of the channel. Please go and vote. And yeah, I will announce the winner when we get to the final Trese reaction, which might be this week, might be next week. Depends on how when I want to get to it, basically. But I'll also make a separate video for those who don't watch Trese as well. Well, I guess 2 separate videos. One to announce it and one to announce the winner. So yeah. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Tell me your thoughts down below on this episode of Trese. And for now, I'm Connie and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.